Hello everybody and welcome. Today we are going to talk about tabletop, and we're going to talk about ways that we can break down this pose and make it work for our bodies. I have osteoarthritis and fibromyalgia and a gazillion other things, and so sometimes tabletop just doesn't work for me, and others it works great. So I've found some great ways to modify tabletop and to do all of the different kind of moves that we tend to do and instruct as yoga instructors with tabletop. So I hope these different customizations give you some ideas. Let's start with a traditional tabletop. So when we get into our tabletop, we want our knees underneath our hips, and we want our arms and our wrists, underneath our shoulders. So we have that nice alignment, and we want a nice straight back. In tabletop, some favorite moves are, of course, cat-cow. So we inhale, drop our belly, getting that arch in our back, looking up towards the sky or the ceiling for our cow. And then exhale, we round our back and we push away from the mat, dropping our head down, chin towards chest for our cat. So inhaling for cow, exhaling for cat. Another move that we like to teach is walking those hands out towards the corners of our mat and doing some nice big hip circles here. One way and then the other. We might instruct you to take your leg back long behind you, toes on the mat, pushing backwards to get that nice stretch in the back of your legs. We also like to ask you to take that leg long, lift it up, take the opposite arm long and lift it up, and hold this, or bring it in so that your knee and your elbow meet. So let's talk about some things and some ways that we can do those differently to customize them for our needs. Like I said, I have osteoarthritis, and it really affects my left knee a lot. You'll see in my seated Sukhasanas, it's very hard. Like my right knee, I can get it really nice and bent here. And this is about as far as I can do my left knee. So sometimes it causes a lot of pain, but I can still function and work with it pretty well. But I like to grab a blanket and place it underneath my knee for a little extra cushion or support. Of course, you can always take the blanket and put it under both knees. Another good thing to do is, if you don't have a blanket, you can take your mat and just fold it over, and then you get double the cushion, and that helps too. But it's not always knees that bother us. Sometimes it's our wrists. So if we take our blanket, we do the same thing, and we take the palm of our hand and put it at the edge of our blanket like this. It helps take some of that pressure off of our wrists and gives them just a little bit more support. And of course, you can roll the mat that way as well. So let's talk about those cat-cows. If it's just too much on my knee, I'll stay in Sukhasana easy pose, putting my hands on my knees and inhaling, pushing my chest out, getting that nice arch in my back, looking up towards the ceiling or the sky, And then exhaling, rounding my back, dropping my chin to my chest. Inhaling up through cow and exhaling into cat. And in seated, you can do those rolls just like you can in a tabletop position. And then I also like to roll down onto my back. And what I'll do is when I'm on my back and they're instructing that you stretch that back leg out long, I'll stretch that foot or that leg out long on the mat, and I'll take my foot and I'll point my toes towards my head and kind of push out that heel. And that gives you that same stretch down the back of your leg. And then you can extend the opposite arm up overhead and then bring them over you to meet. Like this. But what happens if there's a day where just getting down to the mat is hard for me? Well, I am a huge supporter of using a chair in your practice. So I'll take the chair, sit in the chair, feet planted firmly on the ground, and you can do those same cat-cows. Push the chest out, looking out, up towards the ceiling or the sky, and then rounding the back and dropping your chin to your chest for a nice seated in chair cat-cow. Again, nice big circles or small circles, just moving in that circular motion. And when they ask you to extend that leg long behind you, just extend it here. Put your heel on the ground, toes towards your head, and you're getting that nice stretch in the back of your leg. So we're like this. Heel on ground, toes towards us, nice stretch. Extend that opposite arm up overhead and bring them in to meet. And even this, you can keep your foot on the ground, have it bent, and slide it out and slide it in. Slide it out and slide it in, taking those arms and doing that same motion. Even if it's here, just getting that motion in your body. So these are a few ways that I like to customize my tabletop for my yoga practice, whether I'm doing it alone at home, following a video, or even in a class. Never be afraid to ask an instructor for a chair. Going to a class is wonderful. It's a great atmosphere, and you just kind of get something a little bit more special and deeper from a group class. And you should never feel like you can't because of what your body can or can't do. So always be an advocate for yourself, and any yoga instructor will let you use a chair and follow along in a chair while they teach their class. So I hope these gave you some ideas and ways to maybe customize tabletop to fit your body and your needs. If you have some other ways that you have found to customize tabletop, I'd love to hear from them in the comments. Or you can find me at Everybody's Yoga LLC on Instagram, and you can share those with me there. I would love to pass any of those on to my followers, and have a beautiful day.